I can never seem to figure out Instagram, so I don't bother with it that much. Use everything. Try to
Yeah, I
use
know it
everything else.
seems kind of weird coming from a guy who's posting turkey videos all the time, but I'm not exactly a social media guy.
Well,
I post what I have to and get it done with.
you're doing pretty good if you ask me.
You're listening to Inside the Outside, where the wild talks back.
So let's talk about Chad a little bit. So first of all, Chad Claycomb, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Those are your main outlets. Seems like. Who is Chad? Where did Chad grow up?
Well, I was born and raised in the southwestern corner of Pennsylvania
Okay.
in a little rural town called Dawson. It's situated along the Youghiogheny River here, and I don't know. I guess I don't know how old you are, Todd, but I'm 51 now, so I grew up, in the 80s.
Yeah, I was an '80s kid as well. I grew up in the '80s. I was born in '79, so you're a few years older than me, but I have a lot more gray, so I'm ahead. I think that's how it counts.
I'm sure you're probably the same. We spent a lot of time outdoors, just from
right.
daylight. When I wasn't in school, that's all we did is run up and down along this river fishing, and
Yeah.
then in the fall, late summer and fall, we'd cruise around the woodlots and stuff with a BB gun, just being kids. That's what we did back then. But
Yep. It's different now.
I mean, just a typical childhood in the '80s. I don't. It does seem different now.
Yeah,
it's kind of a shame.
It really is. So Southwest Pennsylvania, how close are you to West Virginia? How long of a drive is it? Not, I mean, don't give us
30,
our address.
30 miles.
30 miles? Okay.
Probably 30 miles. Yeah, I'm closer to Morgantown, West Virginia than I am Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So,
yeah, just spent some time out in the Pittsburgh area this summer, and I'm planning on coming back this fall to do some deer hunting. So I'm excited for that. And so you're kind of in that little bucket down there. That's Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio's not too close. So if I were to come up with a nickname for you, if I were to call you Buckeye, would that be deemed to get my ass kicked? If my nickname for you is Buckeye?
Yeah, it seems more Ohio to me.
Right, which I would assume is, being it from Pennsylvania, how dare I call you a Buckeye, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to put my dukes up, I bet. I don't fight anybody that has a better beard than I do, so you're safe. You're safe. I have a two-part question for you. How old were you when you started turkey hunting? And then the second part is, what is your favorite memory from, like, all of the years turkey hunting? What is your favorite turkey hunting memory?
That'd be hard to pick, but I started hunting when I was 12, and back then in Pennsylvania, you had to be 12 years old to get a hunting license. So, that kind of killed me as a kid, seeing my dad come home all the time with deer and turkeys and fish. And yeah, I started when I was 12, so been turkey hunting since '87.
Wow.
Picking a favorite memory, I don't. That's hard.
How about a favorite? Is there a favorite turkey, like one turkey that stands out?
There's so many.
There's so many.
That's like a guy playing situations.
That's like a guy playing poker saying, what am I supposed to do with all these chips? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all these chips.
I've been in some crazy situations with turkeys, but I don't know how to pick the favorite one. Maybe my first one. I don't know. There's so many I can't pick.
Did you get a first one your first year?
No, heck no.
No? Okay.
I have a little bit different background when it comes to turkey hunting, because I just fell in love with it at such a young age before I even was old enough to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I was, watching videos, so I turned 12 in '87. So '86, I'm sure you've watched The Truth Primo's spring turkey hunting video. Well, I don't know how you said you're not a big turkey hunter, but
I want to be. I want to do it.
Back in the mid '80s, those Primos videos came out, and you had to go to a video store and rent a VHS tape.
Yep.
And I can remember, before I was even old enough to hunt, I just wanted to go out so bad that I would watch videos just as much as I could. Rent these hunting videos, between Primos and the Drury brothers and HS Strut. And anyways, I would rent these videos, but I can remember the Primos videos, watching those things over and over in 86, 87 when they first came out. And one day, I guess it would have been, I didn't discover this guy until probably the early 90s, but I found some videos from Denny Galvis.
Okay.
And this guy was just on a different level. I mean, he just taught you so much when you watch these videos. But heck, I even forgot what you asked me now.
Favorite memories.
Back, favorite memories.
Yeah, it's a lot of years to think back on.
But yeah, I started saying how I got started, and it's a little bit different because I fell in love with it so much that I wanted to learn how to call. Watching these videos, I wanted to learn how to do that kind of stuff, and eventually bought some mouth calls. And so when I first started hunting, my very first year, I don't think I had got into the mouth calling yet. My dad I remember he had an old mouth call and he had an old Lynch box call. And the first year, I think the first spring me and him hunted together, he wasn't a big turkey hunter because back then there wasn't a spring season when he grew up. So
okay.
He was more of a fall hunter, so we kind of learned the spring game together. But anyways, I can remember him calling on a box call, and the first turkey we ever called in, we were sitting there, and I can remember I didn't have a call, and my dad did all the calling, and anyways, long story short, we had a Jake. For some reason, we set up below him, which is kind of a mistake. And long story short, it flanked around and came in from behind us, and literally walked right up behind me and walked up to my dad. And he didn't hear it until the last second and had to swing on it and ended up missing it. And I'll just never forget that day. That was the first turkey I ever saw called in, and I thought, I got to learn how to call. So from that day forward, I just wanted to learn as much as I could, reading, watching videos. I finally bought my first call. And so anyway, what I'm getting at is when I first started getting out after that with other people, like friends, and along with my dad and stuff, I did the majority of the calling because I wanted to learn how to do it. And, I called in turkeys for a handful of buddies, their first birds, before I ever even killed one myself. Called numerous birds in for my dad, and he either missed or, something went wrong all the time with him for some reason. But, yeah, so I didn't kill my first turkey till I was in my 20s. I was, I want to say 20 or 21 before I even killed my first bird.
Is that right?
But I had seen, lots of buddies kill their turkeys, and I had a little bit of experience before I ended up eventually killing mine.
Right. So you actually got more into the turkey hunting for the, or I should say the calling more.
The interaction,
because you like the calling and working with the turkeys,
I loved it.
Not necessarily the competitions.
Yeah, I loved it. I'll never forget the first time I went out and heard a turkey gobble to a call. I don't even know if I was old enough to hunt yet. I just went out with my dad and my uncle one time to this little woodlot and close to home, and my uncle knew this place a little bit, and my dad and I weren't familiar with it. Anyways, we walk up in there, and he said there's some turkeys in here, and this was, I think it was in the evening, and it was springtime, and I think before the season. So we walked up in there, and my uncle said there was turkeys in there. So my dad gets his box call out and yelps one time, and down in the hall right below us there. And I'll never forget that. I thought it was the coolest thing. Mm-hmm. And that's where it all started right there for me.
So would it be safe to say you get more pleasure out of calling the turkeys in than actually harvesting the turkey? Ooh, tough call now?
Yeah, tough call.
Tough call?
Tough call. Yeah, it's a tough call. I do like shooting them. But, yeah, I mean, that's not what it's about.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. It ain't about the killing. I love interacting with them and just getting after them. That is my favorite part.
And, no matter if I talk to somebody like you, whether it's turkey hunting, deer hunting, fishing, whatever it is, it's always, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this show, because it's the common theme amongst people that are doing outdoors things like this. It's not the kill. It's not the harvest that is the most important thing. It's the experience. It's interacting with that species, whatever that species is, whether it's a deer, a turkey, or a duck, and the time that you get to spend with your friends and your family and whoever you're with. That's really what it's all about. I like thinking about favorite memories. My favorite memory of hunting is not hunting. It's not shooting a deer. It's the time that I got to spend with my dad growing up, and the things that you learn in those weekends away at deer camp or turkey camp or whatever. Those are the memories. I'm sure I missed plenty of deer and I've shot plenty of deer, but that's not what I remember. I remember the time with my dad, which is the point.
Mm-hmm.
So when you started getting good at calling, how did the transition go from I'm going to just call my best to bring in turkeys to I'm going to go into these competitions? Was it like you saying, doggone it, I'm good enough to do this? Or was it your buddies going, you're pretty darn good, you should go and enter those things, almost like a dare?
No, it was all me. And it's not that I thought I was anything special. I don't know. I think it was probably, it had to be mid-90s. Me and a couple buddies went to an outdoor show up near Pittsburgh, and I just remember walking in the doors at that place and seeing all the booths set up, and just one of the first outdoor shows I think I'd ever been to, and at least that big. And remember walking up these stairs just to go see what was up top, because there was 2 floors in this place, and there was a sign going up the stairs there that said, "Quiet, please, turkey calling contest in progress," or something like that,
Sure.
I thought, what the heck? What is that? Anyways, we walked up in there for a little bit and listened to a few of those guys calling, and I was just amazed, And, me being, I guess I would have been late teens, early 20s at the time, and, really into the calling and wanting to get better. Mm-hmm. When I saw that, I thought, man, I want to do this. So I just, I worked a little bit at it through the years, and eventually a couple years later ended up getting in one, and I probably finished close to last, but it was a heck of an experience, But there was some great callers there.
And I was looking at some of the history of like the Grand National calling championship, and it seems like it's the same names year after year, and then all of a sudden it kind of changes, but then it's that same name year after year. So it seems like I would assume that community of the turkey call competitions, you're running into a lot of the same people all the time, right? And so you kind of over the years you get to know them, because you've been doing this for many years now. Have you made like lifelong friends through those competitions, or what has that been
sure.
like?
Yeah, it's almost like a family reunion when you go to those things. I mean, we all know each other.
Right.
For the most part, we all know each other. It's like a big family.
Do you guys get together and go hunting? Some of you?
Yeah, I got a handful of guys that I've met through that are good hunting buddies. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. And how many competitions have you done since you started? Since your first one, how many have there been?
No,
Are we talking over 100?
I don't know. Probably.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, I see a lot of hardware behind
maybe
you.
not. Maybe not quite
trophies.
that many. I don't know.
How many have you won?
In the beginning, not enough. In the beginning, I didn't do it a whole bunch. I didn't really get serious into it until 2012, I think. So I think I got my first one in 97. And those first 14, 15 years, I probably only called in 1 or 2 a year. And, I didn't work at it hard until about 2012.
Okay.
So we're talking 14 years now. I've been kind of somewhat serious about it.
Sure. So when you get up on that stage, are you like, because when I watch you, you've got the whole thing going, and then I'm not privy to a lot of these competitions. I've mostly watched you. So is it like, are you getting into the character of the turkey? Because I see you you're walking around the stage, you're kind of got your hands on your hips, kind of doing the strut a little bit. Is that the mindset when you get up on stage to do those calls? You have to kind of like, almost like you're acting, like you're getting into a character, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to put yourself there.
Yeah.
And mentally I feel like that puts you where you need to be. And that's not easy to do when you're, in front of the lights, and especially at Grand National down there's you get in those finals, I don't even know, I think there's 4,000 people in that room. It's crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not easy to get up there and put yourself like you're out in the woods, but that's
right.
what I try to do. I actually wear these earbuds, at least one of them, when I'm up on stage there, and I have turkeys in my ears.
Oh,
so
okay.
I feel like I'm talking back and forth with them. It just puts me there mentally. That helps me anyways.
They're judging on the calling, not necessarily the whole or are they judging on the whole presentation? Are there style points, or is it just strictly based on the calling? Or how exactly does that judging work?
No, it's there was a couple years where they did have a presentation score, but no, for the most part, it's almost always just on the sound itself, and the way you present it may give you a better score, of course. Sure. But you're not actually getting separate scores for the calling and the presentation.
Okay.
But the way it works is now when we're talking some of these the smaller local contests, it's tough to find judges for those things.
I bet.
Tough to find good judges for all of them, actually.
Yeah.
But you're looking at, on the local level, usually 5 judges, and they're sitting behind a curtain. If you just, American Idol type thing.
Yeah.
But, you got judges sitting there, and the difference is American Idol, they're seeing the contestants. Mm-hmm. With the turkey calling, they're at the Grand National level, they're in a pit. So they're below the stage, and there's like a roof over top of them. So, but regardless, even at the local level, there's a curtain up or something where they can't see who's doing the calling.
Okay.
You're just judged based on the sound of your calling. So
that's actually I didn't realize that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, they got local level usually have 5 judges, and what they'll do is they'll take the low score and the high score and throw them out, and then keep the remaining 3, and then total those all up, and that's how you pick your winner.
Wow. And is it like what's the scale? What are like? Because I also noticed there's almost like different categories. You've got the open, you've got it seems like there's a bunch of different categories. A resident open. Right. What's the difference between all of those different categories that I've been seeing?
Yeah, there's just different divisions. They'll have a division for the kids.
Okay.
you know, depending on, like at the local level, you don't have a whole lot of, you might get a handful of kids. So, but anyways, they'll have a youth division, a Poltz division, which is real young, an intermediate division, which is like, what is it, 15 or 16 to 20, 21. And then they'll have a friction division, which is all friction type calls, you know, box calls, slate calls, and any type of friction device. The open division is open to any type of call.
Okay.
So the senior open is, you know, anybody 21 or older and any type of call.
Yeah, I figured out pretty quickly that the senior open doesn't necessarily mean senior citizen. It took me a while to kind of figure that out. I'm like, I don't think he looks old enough to be in the senior division, but not let it make a little bit more sense. Yeah, we still have a ways to go. So, are you strictly mouth calling, or like do you dabble, or have you been like practicing some of the other aspects, like the friction calling, and do you dabble at all?
I mess with friction calls mainly just for hunting, though. I don't really get into that in the contest.
Sure.
Never have, really. I don't think I've ever been in a friction division. I never did dip my hat in that.
Now, what about the all natural callers? So everybody poo-poos those guys, right? They're losers, right? You can say it.
It's funny you asked that, because that used to be back in the 80s and 90s. There used to be a division specifically for natural voice. And that kind of fizzled out, you know, and there hasn't been a natural voice division, I don't think, probably since the 90s.
There's some young kid down in Louisiana that's really good, isn't there? I mean, he's
there are some
amazing
kids out there that can do some real good stuff with their natural voice.
Yeah,
it's starting to make a comeback. There's
Is it really?
There's a lot of interest in it. Yeah.
You gonna get in? You gonna do it?
I might. You'd have to probably twist my arm a little bit, but I may. If it would grow a little bit, I may think about it.
So in the shower, you're not singing. You're doing your natural turkey calls. Is that what am I understanding that? That's what you do?
No, I'll tell you what it is when I lay down to go to bed, I got these either in my ears, or I got my phone off to the side playing turkeys. And
is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty crazy about it.
That's awesome, though. I mean,
now, that's not every day, but at least not this time of year. But come wintertime, January through probably May or June, I'm listening to turkeys almost every day when I lay down to go to bed.
That's awesome. It reminds, like, growing up, the kids always have the basketball. You know, I want to be good. I'm going to carry this basketball with me everywhere I go, and dribble everywhere. I remember those days. That's great. I mean, that's the best way to
keep those turkeys in your head.
Yeah,
you got to keep them in your head.
Yeah,
it's amazing how you lose it if you don't continue to listen.
So
I try to listen as close as I can.
With the calls that you do with the mouthpiece, I honestly don't even know what they're called. I just call it a mouth. It looks like a reed. Like, the best way I was describing it in my own head, it's almost like a reed that you're just leveraging within your mouth, and I'm assuming that you're making different sounds based on where you have that in your mouth and how it's positioned and things like that. Can you give just a high-level breakdown of kind of the basics?
Yeah, I mean, basically the mouth call is just a horseshoe-shaped aluminum frame, and there's just latex spaced between it and stretched to a certain tension. Mm-hmm. And you can have multiple layers of those reeds, or you can just have a single piece of latex, whatever your desire is. But yeah, it's just a horseshoe-shaped frame with latex stretched in between them, and it just fits in the roof of your mouth. So it goes up in the roof of your mouth, and you just bring air up from your diaphragm and use your tongue to put pressure on those reeds, and that creates the highs and lows, the notes you're trying to get out of that call.
I've never tried it. I've never officially technically been turkey hunting. I want to. I've made attempts. I had a friend of mine from North Carolina was going to go with me to Wyoming 2 years ago, and got him a plane ticket to come up, and we were going to drive out to Wyoming from Minneapolis, and I completely spaced it, and I called Wyoming because I'm like, I don't know their guidelines or rules or even their seasons and how it works, but it seems like it's fairly complicated. And I got the times mixed up on like the different areas or zones. So I had booked this whole trip with my friend for the week before it opened. I mean, we bought our licenses and everything. I had it magnetized to my gun safe for a long time. I'm like, this thing just makes me depressed. I'm going to take it down and throw it away because I missed an opportunity to go to Wyoming. So I still have never gone turkey hunting.
Oh, okay. So you eventually found out before you left.
Yes. So when I was working with the guy out in Wyoming that we were going to go with, he's a mule deer guide and antelope hunting guide, and then he does a lot of coyote trapping and critter trapping for ranchers out there. And he's starting to try to look into getting into the turkey aspect of the guides. So he's like, yeah, come on out. Let's try it out. Let's kind of as a test. Like, cool. He didn't know anything about it either. So I was just making the calls and doing the Googling. And yeah, I tell you what, it literally pays to make sure that you know those seasons. And
you got to check those regulations.
Yeah, I was looking at, I thought Minnesota's rules were a little bonkers, but I was looking at the Pennsylvania seasons, and it just seems so complicated. If you're in this section, you get these 4 days. If you're in this section, you get this week. And it's like, man, I would need to be with somebody like you that knows what the hell you're doing, because I'm sure I would flub it up. I would be in the wrong area.
Here,
it just seems
it's not that complicated here.
It's
just pretty much, it's just in the springtime. It's just pretty much the month of May.
Oh,
it starts first. Well, it's usually the Saturday closest to the 1st of May. It comes in, and it usually goes out right around the 31st. So it's usually the whole month of May.
If you had to pick fall or spring, which would you pick?
I'd have to pick spring, but I do love fall turkey hunting.
Is there a difference? Do they act different? Like, obviously with deer hunting, you're out in the woods, and that in the fall, November, December, that's when rut is. So what's with the difference between the spring and the fall turkeys? Is there one?
Well, the spring is the fall, or the spring is the turkey's rut. So the spring is when, they're mating and you're taking advantage of that whole thing. So,
sure.
But fall, it's a completely different game. The birds are grouped up. They're in big flocks. Gobblers will be separate from the hens, but normally you'll see a flock of gobblers, and hens and little ones will be off by themselves. And
sure. Just
big groups of birds. And the fall game is just completely different. You want to find, sometimes it may take you days to locate a flock of birds. It's all about the food. And anyways, once you eventually find them, at least the way I do it, and guys that I hunt with do it, is you go out and find the birds and try to bust up the flocks.
Okay.
And then, they're wanting to get back together, so then you usually try to break them up good, and then get back to that break site and just sit down and let things calm down. And there's times where you don't even have time to get set up, and they're already keying and talking back and forth, trying to get back together, and it can be some exciting stuff.
And they're at that point, they're coming from almost any direction, right?
Possibly, yeah.
Are you a blind guy? Like, do you sit in? Is it always a blind? Or are you in the open? Is it? Do you use one of those little shields, or what's your preferred method of disguise?
I don't have anything against the blinds, but no, absolutely not. I just don't. I don't. How should I say this without ruffling feathers?
We ruffle feathers all the time, so it's okay.
I just think the turkey's got a brain the size of a walnut, so they're not exactly don't have the capability to reason like you and I do. And I don't know. I just feel like I've only ever been in a blind one time, and I was just filming a hunt. But I felt like I could have stood up in that blind and done jumping jacks, and the turkey was within 10 yards of us, and it wouldn't have known any different.
Right.
I feel like it just takes too much away from the bird, and it just takes all the challenge out of it. Now, I could see, somebody that's like a young kid that's just getting into it, or somebody that can't get around real good or has a disability. That's perfectly fine. But, yeah, I don't buy into that whole blind thing. I think, don't get me wrong, you can be really successful using them, but I just am looking for more of a challenge out of it than that.
And based on what I've seen, and by the way, for people watching and listening, go check out Chad's stuff. I was telling him earlier, I'm hooked. He's got great content. His videos are fantastic. Seems like a great dude. You seem like a great dude, Chad. But yeah, everybody should go check out Chad's stuff, and all of your links will be down in the description below. But yeah, check out Chad's stuff, you guys. It's me watching it. Like, it seems like that you're definitely. I kind of knew the answer to that question already. It seems like you're definitely I'm gonna move around, and with a blind, you're kind of. This is where you're sitting, but you're actively targeting. You're almost chasing, right? You're moving around, making calls, seeing how they react because they're shifting. You're constantly shifting, and for me, it's super interesting to watch that. Bring in my favorite George W. Bush saying that strategery of playing with the turkeys and interacting with them, and that's the hunt. To me, that's the hunt. Right. They're shifting, they're moving, you're moving to get in a different position to take that harvest. But yeah, I've so far I have absolutely loved all of your content. I think it's great. I hope you keep doing it because I think it's awesome.
Appreciate that.
And I've been sitting like. I was watching the last few nights. I'm like, I have to go turkey hunting. This looks so much fun. This looks so much fun. I need to give it a shot.
That's why I put them on there. I mean, it's more than just the hunting too. Like if you want to learn about turkeys and listen to them talk and learn how to call, especially. Yeah. That's why I started the channel back in whenever I started at 2011. I think I was just putting turkey talk on there. I'd sneak up under the roost trees and set up with a camera and just listen to them wake up and talk back and forth, and you really learn a lot about the bird and everything they do just by watching them without the thought of killing them. Just being around them and close to them, you learn so much just by being close to them like that.
Yep. Yeah. I think I would find. One of the reasons I asked you that question earlier about what really got you into the calling, was it to bring turkeys in or was it for the competitions? I think the aspect of turkey hunting that I would enjoy the most would be the calling, and that interacting and bringing in a bird to me would be a win. If I could call in a bird, I don't even need any weapons. I'm just going to be happy that I just called in a bird, right? For me, that would be the fun part. I don't know if you disagree, but I think if I were to go out hunting with you, let's say, or vice versa, I was the turkey expert and you weren't, and I'm taking you out turkey hunting, it would bring me way more pleasure to call in a bird for you, or to help you call in your own bird, even if the call's terrible, right? You don't have to be great. Like you said, they have a brain of the size of a walnut, so I'm sure even I could call in a turkey with a little bit of coaching from you side by side, and I think that would be a lot of fun too. That would be pretty cool.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Yeah. I mean, the older I get, even when I was younger, I was the same way, but I feel like I've gotten to the point now where I always feel bad when I kill one. And,
right.
It is rewarding to sit behind somebody and call for them and see them harvest their first turkey or whatever, just seeing them be able to have some success. That is what it's all about.
Yeah.
I don't get to do that as much as I used to, but I'm out a lot by myself, seems like nowadays, but anytime I get a chance to go out with somebody, it is it is refreshing. It's fun.
Well, when I'm out there this fall in November, if I'm out there during turkey season, maybe I'll hit you up. Maybe we can go find some woods to sit in for a little bit. You can show me the ropes a little. That'd be fun.
Let me know.
But so turkey, obviously you have deer. You hunt deer. You've got some deer in the background. Come the fall, your guys' turkey season overlaps with deer season too, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How do you pick? What if you had, like, when in November, when you're out there, how do you pick? What am I going to go hunt for today?
It is tough sometimes. I do put a lot of work into the deer, though. Come fall, I usually try to take a break from the deer hunting a little bit at the end of October. Our season comes in usually right around Halloween, the fall season.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been some years where I took a break from the deer hunting and really chased turkeys hard for a few weeks and just put deer to the side. But I don't know, these last handful of years I kind of got back into the archery stuff because I don't know, it's a long story, but when I first started putting all these hunts on YouTube back in 2019, I was just so overwhelmed with all the editing, just continuously literally from the end of spring turkey season up until I would try to get done with it all so I could start archery hunting. There were 2 years there, I think it was 19 and 20. I was so overwhelmed with all this editing that I didn't even archery hunt those 2 years. And that was the first, well, I take that back. It was just 1 year, 2020. I didn't archery hunt one day, and I told myself I will never let that get in the way again. But yeah, these last 5 or 6 years, I've really got back into chasing deer. So I do take a few days to get out there and chase turkeys a little bit. But our season, the way it works, it comes in, I'd have to look at the book again, but it comes in right around Halloween, and then I think it's in for 2 weeks. It's different. That's probably what you were talking about in the fall. It is a little bit confusing. Different areas, it comes in and goes out. And,
Yep.
Yeah. But it does come back in after. See, what our archery season goes out normally right around the middle of November, right when it's actually at its peak,
time.
pretty much.
Right.
So it ends, and then there are certain areas I can go to after archery's over and turkey hunt. So I still get some turkey hunting in, but I'm not going out day to day and like every day hard like I do in the spring. But I do love fall turkey hunting. I go out, I got some buddies that have turkey dogs here in PA and get up to their camp and hunt with them a few days, usually every fall.
No, what's a turkey dog? What's this? I don't think I've ever heard of this.
Oh, it's a blast. Like I said, in the fall you're trying to split up the flock and call them back in. I've been in some situations where I've been hunting with myself or even another buddy where we come up on a flock of birds just over the lip of the ridge or something. You can hear them down there scratching, and we sneak up to the edge and peek over the edge, and there they are, and then there you are within 80 yards of these birds, and you're trying to get them broke up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the best way to do that is just run at them and get them scattered.
Right, yeah.
And, I'm not exactly a spring chicken anymore. And we've been in some situations where, like, I almost broke my arm one time and my ribs chasing turkeys down a steep mountain. So that's where the dogs come in.
Okay.
And it is unbelievable with some of these dogs, they're trained to do this stuff. And, first off, they smell them before you even know they're in the area. So you got a little bit of advantage there with those dogs being able to locate them if you get the wind right.
Mm-hmm.
You just cruise around through the mountains, find some sign, and let the dogs out, and they just start zigzagging around and sniffing. And, if you're lucky enough, they get a whiff of the birds and just go to them and get them scattered. And those dogs they're trained to start barking when they get into them.
Okay.
And you know, I don't have the dogs, but a couple of my buddies do, and they'll have these GPSs where they can watch where the dog's at, and they know where they got into the birds, and then, you know, the birds or the dogs do a fantastic job of getting them scattered really good, because like us, there's only so much you can do, because you can't run that fast.
I mean, I can. Maybe you can't, but I can.
Not me. But, you know, like if you and I are out and we scatter a flock, you can only scatter them so good, because they get out there, you know, they'll fly maybe 100, 200 yards in different directions, and we try to like get out and try to do a secondary scatter just to get them broke up even better. But those dogs are unbelievable the way they can do that.
That sounds fun.
And then they can get on that GPS and they see right where they're busted up, and we'll go up there and call the dogs back, and then sit the dog. It's amazing. The first time I ever saw this, I was like, wow. But the dogs will sit down between their legs. We'll just get set up. Dog will sit on his lap or right between his legs, and he'll cover them up with like a camo, like a piece of burlap or a camo material. Mm-hmm. And that dog will just sit there quiet while we're calling these birds back in, and end up shooting one of them. It's unbelievable.
I'm surprised that
you can hear some of the most turkey talk in the fall that you will ever hear on a good scatter like that with those dogs.
Yeah.
And it's so rewarding watching those dogs do the work. You know, if you're any kind of houndsman or a dog person, it's something to see.
Yeah, I pheasant hunting for me, like in the Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota area. I've been with guys that have the dogs that are flushing the pheasants out, and the amount of training these dogs have, it's incredible. I definitely don't have the skill or the patience, I think, to train a dog to that level, but anybody out there that has a dog that trains it like that, to me, it's incredible. I'm actually surprised that it's legal to use that GPS on the dog, because if the dog's taking off and you don't know where the birds are, and the dog's kind of scattering that flock, I'm surprised that you can use a GPS to then locate that dog, so you know exactly where that flock of birds were. So that's where you're setting up. Has that been a debate at all? Have you heard of anything like that?
No, that's actually a good point. No, I haven't ever thought of that actually. No, I haven't.
Not that I'm trying to get anybody in trouble. I didn't even think of that aspect. I just assumed it was okay. It sounds phenomenal.
As far as I know, that's legal.
I'm pretty sure it is, because you can use the dogs, right? And the dogs are going to have their chips. Definitely not insinuating that you guys are doing anything bad by any means. I would love to be there and watch that in action. Like I said, just watching pheasant dogs do it, it's quite amazing. Being in that kind of
it is a guessing game, though. I will say
for
that.
Sure.
You know, when you're looking at that GPS, you know roughly where they got in. It's not like the dog tells you the exact spot where he saw the turkey and scattered them. You know,
right.
You got to kind of. It's just a general area, but I mean, that is a good point.
Well, I mean, you're gonna retrieve your dog no matter what, so you're gonna find the dog. So to me, I don't think it's almost a non-issue. Now that you kind of explained it a little bit more, I think I was interpreting it and probably thinking about it a little incorrectly. It's a great idea though. Do those dogs train them to shed hunt too for antlers?
I'm sure they could be, but my buddies don't.
No. Okay. So being in the kind of the southwest corner of Pennsylvania, you're close to a lot of good turkey hunting. I mean, you've got Pennsylvania, you've got West Virginia, you've got Kentucky. How's the turkey hunting in Ohio? Is it any good?
It is. I used to do it a bunch, almost every year up until the last handful of years. I guess, I don't know. It's been a few years since I hunted out there. They jacked their hunting license up, the cost of them, and that's one of the main reasons I haven't been back, actually. I don't know what year that was, but it's been a few years since I hunted Ohio. But it's like a lot of places in the country, the turkey numbers were in a decline for a little bit, but they seem to be coming back. But yeah, I can't say specifically Ohio because I haven't hunted it for, I want to say maybe 3 years.
Okay. Last year sitting in the deer stands is the first year in a while that I didn't see a single turkey. And most of the years past, like the last 5 to 10 years, I'd see more turkeys than I do deer. They just walk right past. You're sitting up in your stand, they just walk right past you. But this past year, I didn't see.
You're in Minnesota, Todd?
Yeah, yep. I didn't see or hear a single one right in the Minneapolis area.
So it's all pretty flat ground there.
Yeah, it's farmland and woods. Yep. Okay. But our pheasant numbers, our pheasant numbers have been up the last couple of years too. So I don't know. That would be an interesting thing to kind of research to see if there's any correlation between the pheasant numbers and the turkey numbers. It's I'm sure it all has to do, or a lot of it has to do with the ecosystem and what kind of habitat is there for them. Well,
yeah, the nesting habitat's the biggest thing probably.
Yep.
The fact that they're ground nesting birds. I wish you could somehow teach turkeys and other birds like that are nesting on the ground why don't you just go up in a tree and build a nest? Be so much more successful. I don't get why they can't adapt to that, but that's the way it is.
With you saying that triggered a memory that I haven't thought about in years. Being a non-turkey hunting person yet at this point, I think I was in high school, and went out to my uncle's land to hunt for deer. It was in November, and I think it was a Saturday morning. So I was out there walking in the dark, but it was right about at daybreak. And next thing I know, I hear what I thought was the Antichrist coming for me, but it was just a huge flock of turkeys coming out of the trees and swooping down and flying out into the field. But I thought I was under attack. I literally dropped my gun. I was down on the ground like, what in the hell is going on right now? Because I had never experienced that. I had never seen that before. But it scared the hell out of me. I gotta be honest. It scared the hell out of me.
I love that feeling. I mean, when I get up under them, I'm talking, within spitting distance of some of them I've had pooping on the ground right next to me. I mean, when you're in there an hour before it even starts cracking daylight and one of those bombs drop in the leaves right beside you, it scares you. But yeah, I know the feeling. When they come out of the trees, I've told other people this. You could take my gun away and tell me I can't hunt another day, but as long as I can do that, I'm a happy guy.
Yep. You're my kind of guy.
I love like being close to them like that. There's no feeling in the world when it comes to turkeys as being that close to them when they come out of the trees. It's awesome. It's something to see.
It was intense. It took me a few minutes to figure out what the hell was going on, but eventually I did. So in the spring, let's focus on spring for a second. In the spring, what does a typical hunting season look like for you? Because it seems like you're not just hunting in PA. It seems like you're going kind of bouncing all over the place. Where there's a season you're
I bounce around. I mean, probably not as much as some of these guys that are traveling to every state to kill turkeys, but I do a little bit of traveling. Unfortunately, I have a job, so I can only do so much. But I'll take some vacation time, but I have it set up to where I work midnights and I can pretty much hunt every day of the spring. And I just try to get out as much as I can as soon as spring hits, and I'll take a trip or two, take vacation, but other than that, I can travel close to home here and hunt a handful of states, and that's usually what I try to do every year. I have to, I don't know, come springtime, I just have to be out there as much as possible. I'm just driven to do it as much as I possibly can.
That's awesome. I absolutely love that. I do. That's great. What else was I going to
So in Minnesota,
yeah,
I was going to ask you, I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of Shane Simpson, but he's from that area. He does a lot of YouTube videos himself. But Minnesota, I think there's certain parts of it that are kind of hilly, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
Up in the northern part of the state,
and southeastern for sure. Yep.
So when you were a kid, were there many birds in your area, or how did you?
I think
not
that was
get into turkey hunting.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I was like you are with turkey. That's how I am with whitetail. So that whitetail is kind of my passion. As I've gotten older, I've been expanding. I've had rules for myself. If it can hunt me, I'm not going to hunt it. Over the years, I've calmed down a little bit on that. So it's like bear hunting. Yeah, I kind of want to try that now. Mountain lion. Yeah, I kind of want to try that. But yeah, growing up, I don't remember as a teen having a lot of turkeys around. So, and I think, kind of thinking back to it, that one moment in the morning is probably why it startled me to the level that it did, because I wasn't used to seeing turkeys. I think at that point, I didn't even know turkeys were in trees, because I was probably like 16, 15. So it was very strange to have that many turkeys coming out of roost. Over the years, it's definitely the population. See, it was interesting to hear you say that the population has been declining in most places, because here I would say it's been doing the opposite. I would have thought that it's getting increasing in population just from the amount of turkeys that I see on a daily basis driving around and when I'm hunting and outdoors or doing whatever. But yeah, I was surprised to not see turkeys last fall. But yeah, I don't have like, I'm kind of a loner when it comes to most of the stuff. I have some people that I go hunting with, but not really. Most of my hunting I do solo, and I've never had anybody that was into turkey hunting growing up, which is why I'm like, I keep trying to find people like, hey, can you please take me turkey hunting? I kind of want to go turkey hunting, but I don't know the first thing what I'm doing.
To be honest, it was kind of the same for me growing up. Like I said, my dad wasn't a big spring turkey hunter, but he hunted them in the fall a lot. But as a kid, before I was old enough to hunt, it was the same type of deal as what you're explaining there. We didn't have a whole lot of birds around home. And we have a camp up in the northern part of the state. Or we could travel up on the mountain here, which is, not far from home. But that's where we would have to go to see turkeys. And I can remember, I was probably younger than 10 years old or something. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but we were up at our camp on our way back home, and I can specifically remember seeing my first turkey up there, and I was, what is that? Like a little mini dinosaur. But yeah, we didn't have them around home here until probably, I'm going to say late 80s or early 90s is the first turkey I ever saw around the house growing up. So we had to travel a little bit to get into turkeys back then.
Yeah.
But I could see, when you don't have them around home, I could see why you didn't get into it. You just weren't exposed to them.
Yeah, now it's like I want to do it because I see them all the time. It's like, now I need to learn how to do this. I would love to learn how to call.
Yeah.
And I have so many hobbies already.
I didn't mean to make it sound like they're. I said it at one point they were declining.
Oh, okay, okay.
I feel like they are coming
back
to some extent, and
Sure.
like at least here and in this general area in the what would you call this? The Mid-Atlantic region, I guess.
Yep.
It seemed like this area, probably the early 2000s, was the heyday.
Sure.
I mean, we had tons of turkeys back then. Coming off of the restocking efforts back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, the population just exploded back then. And then probably starting around 2000, probably after 2010, it kind of started to seem like really started declining a little bit in certain areas, But yeah, I would say the last handful of years here, they've started to come back pretty good. a couple good springs. Those dry springs really help with the nest success and the hatch numbers, and the birds seem to be doing pretty good here lately.
Okay. Do you notice like almost like an ebb and flow? Because I would say, even in South Dakota for pheasants, and even here in Minnesota, it seems like you'll have those 5 to 10 years that it's the best hunting, and then you go through another 5 to 7 years where you can't find a bird to save your life, and then all of a sudden they kind of starts coming back. It's interesting to watch kind of the ebbs and flows of the populations.
For sure. I think a lot of it has to do with the climate, the temperatures, and the weather in the springtime, and that determines how successful they are with those nests, I feel like. I mean, when it's wet, when you get a wet spring and those hens are sitting on those nests, once they get a full clutch of eggs, they're sitting on that nest night and day, all day long, not leaving it. And, they get wet and they start to smell. And all the predators can find them real easy. And, I mean, everything you name it, everything out there is wanting to get a turkey and the eggs. So it makes it tough. Those hens have a tough job in the springtime.
Oh, I was saying, kind of like humans with women, they have to bear the children, and I'm glad we don't. I'm glad we don't have to be the ones doing that. It's a bonus for us.
Absolutely.
We get to go out and not feel huge, or the pain.
So you're big into deer hunting then?
Yeah. Yep.
You do a lot of archery hunting, or?
Yep. I got into archery probably 10-ish years ago and fell in love. Thankfully, I've got a really bad shoulder, so I've always had a low draw weight, but it was never been bad enough where I would have to go get a doctor's note for a crossbow. But Minnesota legalized crossbows a couple years ago, so I now do the archery hunting with a crossbow. I would like to. It's kind of one of those things where I want to harvest a deer with a crossbow. I want to harvest a deer with a compound bow. I would love to harvest a deer with a more ancient type of archery, muzzleloader, rifle, shotgun. I forget what the turkeys are called when you have all four, like the Grand Slam. Is it the Grand Slam or something
Grand
like
Slam.
that? Yeah. For me, my Grand Slam is how many different types of things can I harvest a whitetail deer with, and try to knock them all out. But yeah, archery.
Yeah, cool.
I spend a lot of time in the fall. Once we open our archery in middle of September, and until daylight savings time, I'm trying to get done with work as quickly as I can so I can get in the truck and head up to the land to get into that stand.
It won't be long.
It's only a month away. It's only a month away. I'm like, oh God, how did this summer fly? This summer just disappeared.
Tell me about it.
It's been absolutely crazy. There is one picture, a couple pictures that I've saw on your stuff that I have to ask about. The Bigfoot imprints. Did you really come up on that Bigfoot imprint, or did you stage that?
Bigfoot? I'm thinking maybe a bear you saw.
Oh, is that a bear?
Maybe
I thought that was
track.
a Bigfoot track. That wasn't a Bigfoot track? Are you sure?
There are some sightings supposedly around here of Bigfoot, but no, that's probably a bear track. I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's what you saw.
That thing was. I thought it was a Sasquatch track. I was like, oh yeah, let's talk about some Sasquatch.
You're into that, huh?
I find it very interesting. I think it's fun. Do I believe? No, but I'm open and I'm willing to have a conversation with people that do. Where they lose me a little bit is when they start spouting out facts like, a Sasquatch can run 35 miles an hour. It's a well-known fact. It's like, well, it's hard to be a fact if nobody can prove it.
Well, how do you know that?
Right. Exactly. But I mean, I want Sasquatch. I want nothing more than to wake up tomorrow morning to a news article that says, finally, we have overbearing proof of Sasquatch. That would make me...
I'm waiting for it, too.
Yeah, that would make me so happy. I mean, I've got Sasquatch hats and shirts and hoodies and little figurines. I love me some Sasquatch. And I'm hoping we find some proof at some point, because that would be a lot of fun.
Listen, I hike around in the mountains more than I care to mention, but the amount of trail cameras that I find in the woods, you would think that one of them would have some definite proof of Bigfoot.
You would think so. And then they do. Then you find the cameras that do, and you can't quite make out what it is. Always, for some reason, but all the pictures of the deer are in 4K HD. But then all of a sudden, you get to the one picture of, look, there's the Sasquatch. You're like, it looks like a tumbleweed to me from a distance. I don't know what that is. But Sasquatch.
It's funny you say that. I just saw a picture posted on Facebook the other day, and I don't even know how I came across this, but they were claiming it was Bigfoot, and then when I saw it, I immediately said, it looks like a bear with, what do you call it, when they start to lose their hair?
Mange.
Just look like a mangy bear.
And now with AI videos, I don't know that you can never believe anything regarding Sasquatch. Unless they have a physical being in front of you. With AI, I don't think I would believe any photo or video even, I don't know
what to believe anymore.
No, they're right. It's crazy.
I've been seeing that on YouTube actually. All these new videos are coming out with like the big thumbnail that you click on. They're all AI generated.
Yep.
I've used it. I feel about that.
I've used it.
Have you?
Like even for the show.
There's a bunch of stuff. I saw for your show. It's like the background, but I don't know. For a YouTube video, I just feel like I don't know. Just seems like clickbait to me.
Yep.
That's just my opinion. When I click on a video, I expect to see what I see on the thumbnail.
Yes. And
I don't know. I just feel like almost like I'm being lied to when I see the AI generated thumbnail like that.
And my fishing, my ice fishing. I do a lot of in the winter dark house spearing. All my hunting, I do that all live. And it's one of the things
I've had into that.
Oh God,
I meant to ask you that.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about that because I would love to have that conversation with you. I just I was streaming on a different platform for I don't know, probably 2 years, and one of the games that I was streaming was a Call of the Wild. It's a hunting game, and so a lot of the people that were watching me were clearly they're people that like the outdoors and enjoy hunting, and I had people from all over the world, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, the UK watching, and they're like, you go ice fishing. We want to see this. So I figured it out. I just kind of dabbled in it. And next thing I know, I stopped streaming gaming and just started streaming hunting and fishing and IRL stuff. And it's been a blast, but I've always made sure that, kind of to your point, what you're talking about is, for me, the integrity of what I'm doing means a lot. So if I'm going to put a picture of me holding a fish that I've caught, I better have caught that fish. I'm not going to enhance that fish. I don't want to enhance that fish, because the second you do it once, none of your pictures, none of your content can really be believable when it comes to whether it's the size of a fish or deer. I mean, there's so many different things you could manipulate on those to make it look bigger, better, more impressive, just to get people to click on it. That's not why I do it. If you click, you click. But whatever you click on, to your point, you're going to see whatever it is that I did. It's not going to be enhanced with any sort of AI, because to me, that integrity of that catch. Now, obviously, everybody is guilty of holding the fish out a little further from your body to make it look bigger. To me, that's a little different.
Right.
But yeah, no, the live streaming's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun. I'd love to see you do it. I'd watch you all the time. Yeah, I'd watch you all the time. That'd be
You
great.
wouldn't want to watch me.
Oh.
You wouldn't want to watch it. There's times where I'll go. I always wonder that, because it's hard to make a video that is actually watchable sometimes because I could go for a week and not even hear a turkey, let alone see one. So that's kind of challenging to make videos that aren't so boring that people are going to want to watch, you know.
But that's sometimes that's hunting. That's the reality of hunting.
It is.
You know, and that's one of the aspects of live streaming that I've enjoyed. I'm sitting in my deer stand. I've got one camera, two cameras, microphones, battery packs, you know, and I'm trying to hide all of this with motion when the deer are 20, 30 yards away. But that reality of you might sit in that stand from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. and not see a single thing other than a couple squirrels. That's the reality of it. And some people find that boring. And I would assume, like, I would find it boring if I'm going to sit down and watch somebody's video for 12 hours and I don't see a single deer. That's the reality of hunting. And for me, I don't care if I see deer or if I'm turkey hunting or whatever I'm doing outdoors, if I catch fish or not catch fish. If I'm out there and I'm enjoying the outdoors, I mean, sometimes it's just nice after a stressful day of work to go sit in a deer stand and just sit there and watch the sunset, listen to the birds chirp. And if you see a deer, it's like a lot of times I don't even bring my bow or my crossbow or my rifle because it's like I've already worked hard enough today. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the time with the outdoors. You know, I mean, I won't say I'm not disappointed. I thought for sure those tracks were Sasquatch tracks, but I'll let it slide for now. Maybe when I'm out there this fall, I'll start looking for some Sasquatch tracks and take pictures of it, and I'll send them to you, and you can put them side by side by your bear tracks, so we can compare.
There you
tracks. Yeah. But just want to remind everybody again, Chad Claycomb, thanks for coming on the show. Check out his stuff. All of his links will be in the description down below. Chad Claycomb Outdoors, Claycomb Outdoors, right? Claycomb Outdoors on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I highly suggest Chad's stuff. It's great. I can't wait to actually. I'm going to start watching more of your stuff tonight once we get done because it's almost fall and I'm getting into the hunting mood. It's like, ooh, I don't care what kind of hunting it is. I want to see people out in the woods and watch some of those types of videos and that content. So I appreciate you coming on and having the conversation, talking about turkey hunting in general. And who knows, maybe in a few months or 6 months, maybe we can come back and talk spring turkeys more specifically.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Todd. It's an honor being on.
Thank you.